My name is Jade Jackson. I am originally from Cannons Creek in Porirua, but I am based in Nelson at the moment. The reason why I became a filmmaker, I had spent a lot of time in my 20s really struggling with an identity crisis. When I was growing up, being Samoan really wasn't something to really be proud of. You know, what I saw really scarred me as a kid around racism, but also just like the jokes, you know, it's like Kiwi humour. And I don't think a lot of people realised that it could be really damaging. So I hid that part of myself for a long time. I remember from a really young age thinking that I'm brown, that wasn't a good thing, and I should probably be as white as I can be. Being really envious of my white friends and their families, and they just seemed so perfect. I didn't grow up in poverty whatsoever. However, my parents didn't have office jobs either. And so I experienced a lot of drugs and alcohol, you know, abuse in the family, really traumatic things. I needed to leave everything. I needed to find myself, and I couldn't do it here in New Zealand, and I couldn't do it around anyone that I was currently around. So I left my family, I left a partner, I left my friends, I left everything, a job, my career. I went and basically sat on a beach in Australia for a year in 2018. Had some really hard conversations with myself about who I was, who I wanted to be, letting go of my trauma, letting go of my childhood, and rediscovering myself. And then that is when I think spiritually first rediscovered my Samoan heritage, and then after that I started writing, and I realised that I wanted to be a filmmaker. I knew that I wanted to tell stories, and I wanted to inspire people with my story or stories like mine, and I really wanted to immerse myself back into my culture and take my power back. Braids came about, I just graduated from the New Zealand Film School. I wanted to see Pacific Islanders on the screen. I really just knew that was what I wanted to do. As I was kind of thinking about what I was going to tell, though, I really didn't know. I had obviously these stories of my own experiences. I then found out about the Dawn Raids and the Polynesian Panthers, and that's what informed me to write a feature film called Losa. And Raids was taken out of that so that we could create a short film so that I could pitch for a feature. I started asking people around me, everyone from film school, and I just got a crew together of 27 people. I then reached out to the Porirua community. They were amazing. They really backed me on this. I was really nervous. I was asking myself all of the questions that I think we all ask, you know, who am I to tell the story and why? And I felt it was important. I felt like people needed to know about it. I feel like New Zealand needed to get that out from under the carpet. We really needed to look at our history and look at ourselves and who we are. At the moment, I'm working on the feature. So we've obviously got Raids that we've been pitching with, which is really exciting. Off the back of being shortlisted for the Merata Meta Fellowship, we have been invited to apply to the Sundance Catalyst this year, which is really exciting. So we'll see, we might be making Losa this year.